Oliver Pido, a veteran photographer, opened a studio for her professional practice on July 1. Transaction completed during the month to follow. So this is the first month, so we have the first date, so that is the letter A. So the letter A, he deposited 146,200 in the bank account in the name of Business Pido Photo Profiles. So si Pido nag-deposit siya ng 146,200, which is gumamit siya ng cash. So nilagay natin yung 146,000 as a deposit. It is because cash po yung nilabas niya. At the same time, credit because for Pido Capital. So account title natin, cash and Pido Capital. For the next is letter B. For bought new photography equipment on account from Canon Equipment, which is 71,210 pesos. So bumili siya ng new photography equipment. So sa account title natin, naglagay tayo ng photography equipment, which is naglagay din tayo ng 71,210 sa debit side. At the same time, sa account title din natin sa credit, account payable siya kasi babayaran natin yung binili natin na photography equipment, which is 71,210. And sa letter C, he invested personal photography equipment into the business, which is 51,620. So nag-invest siya na personal photography. So photography equipment pa rin siya. So naggumastos pa rin siya ng pera, which is gumamit tayo ng cash. So yung cash natin na nilabas ni Pido is 51,620 pesos. At the same time, nandun din siya sa credit, which is 51,620. So for the letter D, paid office rent for the month, which is 5,500 pesos. So sa letter D, rent expenses siya. So expenses siya monthly. So naglabas na naman siya ng another cash, which is nilagay natin sa account title. So meron tayong 5,500 at the same time din sa credit, 5,500. Sa letter E, bought photography supplies for cash, 7,960. So bumili siya ng photography supplies. So account title natin is supplies. At the same time, naglagay tayo ng 5,500 sa debit, at the same time sa credit din, which is ang account title natin for the credit side, which is cash kasi naglabas tayo ng cash o nag-spend tayo ng cash to brought another photography supplies. So sa letter F, paid premium for insurance cover on photography equipment. So sa letter F, supplies yung account title natin because for photography, yung insurance na sinasabi dito is cover po yan sa photography equipment kay Pido, which is gumastos pa rin siya ng 1,240 pesos for insurance niya. So that is why prepaid insurance yung nilagay natin kasi babayaran siya. At the same time, sa account title natin for credit, cash because gumamit siya ng cash for the payment. So naglagay tayo ng 1,240 pesos for the debit side. At the same time, naglagay din tayo ng 1,240 for the credit side. Letter G, received 8,960 as professional fees for services rendered. So nag-receive siya ng 8,960 as professional fees. So kaya ma-receive na yung pera na 8,960 as cash. So salary niya po yan. So naglagay tayo sa account title natin ng cash kasi cash yung makukuha niya. At the same time, sa credit side for this is service revenue for the credit side. Service revenue kasi nga yung pera na makukuha niya is galing po sa services niya. So naglagay tayo sa debit side ng 8,960 at the same time sa credit side 8,960. So letter H, paid salary of part-time assistant, which is 6,000 pesos. So expenses po, salary expenses. So nagbigay po siya ng 6,000 pesos for the yan po naglagay tayo sa debit side. At the same time, cash yung kanya na-produce. So naglagay din tayo ng 6,000 pesos sa credit side. Sa letter I, received and paid bill for telephone services. So nagbayad siya sa bill for the telephone services, which is 640. So utility expenses siya. That is because utility expenses sa account title natin for the credit side, cash kasi cash yung ginamit natin to pay the specific expenses or specific bill. So naglagay tayo sa debit side ng 640 pesos at the same time for the credit side 640 pesos. For the letter J, paid Canon equipment part of the amount owed on the purchase of photography equipment, which is 4,200. So repairs expenses. So ito yung ginamit natin, repairs expenses. So nag-purchase tayo ng nagbayad tayo for the Canon equipment for the part of amount owed sa binili natin na photography equipment na nakakahalaga ng 4,200. So yan po yung sa credit side natin sa account title natin, which is cash kasi nag-produce siya ng cash, which is 4,200. So for which is 50,480. Accounts payable for letter L, paid for a minor repairs for photography equipment, which is 760 pesos for the minor repairs, for the letter L po yan. And accounts payable po siya. Okay, accounts payable kasi babayaran po natin yung photography, yung pag-repair po sa photography equipment, so which is 760 pesos. So, accounts payable po siya kasi babayaran natin yung 4,200 pala. At the same time, nalagay din tayo sa debit side niya ng 4,200. For the letter M, PIDO withdrawal. So, PIDO withdraw cash for personal use, which is 9,600. So, personal use niya, so PIDO withdrawal, which is 9,600. So, cash yung pinreduce natin. So, sa credit side po natin, naglagay din tayo ng 9,600 pesos because account title natin sa credit side, cash po yung ginamit ni PIDO for his personal use. So, expenses din po siya. So, nag-expense po tayo gamit yung cash. So, total po yun natin yung whole debit. So, which is the balance of 329,170. At the same time din sa credit, 329,170, which is nakuha po natin yung exact value ng yung answer natin.
Ito ang T-account ni Pido Oliver. So we have here a cash, photography equipment, supplies, and prepaid insurance. So this four accounts ay kabilang sa asset. Then followed by we have one liabilities, accounts payable. Then followed by Pido capital, Pido withdrawals, and our service revenue. Then we also have rent expenses, salary expenses, repairs expenses, and utility expenses. So in transaction A, deposited 146,000 in a bank account in the name of the business, Pido Photo Profiles. So nadagdagan ng ating asset as well as our owner's equity. So i-debit natin sa cash ang 146,000 and credit sa capital account. Transaction B, both new photography equipment on account from Canon equipment 71,210. So nagdagdagan ang ating asset but nag-increase naman ang liabilities since on account siya. So i-debit natin ang 71,210 sa photography equipment account, then credit naman sa payables account. Transaction C, invested personal photography equipment into the business 51,620. So nagdagdagan ng ating asset. So i-debit natin ang 51,620 sa account ng photography equipment, then i-credit naman sa cash account. Transaction D, paid office rent for the month 5,500. So magbabawas tayo ng asset natin. So, i-debit natin ang cash na 5,500 sa rent expenses na account, then credit naman sa cash account natin. Transaction E, both photography supplies for cash 7,960. So, nadagdagan ang asset. I-debit natin ang 7,960 sa cash account, then i-credit naman sa supplies account. Transaction F, paid premium for insurance cover or photography equipment 1,240 pesos. So, magbabawas tayo na nating asset. I-debit natin sa prepaid account ang 1,240 pesos, then credit naman sa cash account. Transaction G, receive 8,960 as professional fees for services rendered. So, nalagdagan ng asset. I-debit natin ang 8,960 sa cash account, then credit naman sa service revenue. Transaction H, paid salary of part-time assistant 6,000 pesos. So, magbabawas na naman tayo ng asset. I-debit sa salary expenses ang 6,000 pesos, then credit naman sa cash account. Transaction I, receive and paid bill for telephone service 640 pesos. So, nababawasan na naman ang asset natin. So, i-debit sa utility expenses ang 640 pesos, then credit naman sa cash account. Transaction J, paid Canon equipment part of the amount owed on the purchase of photography equipment 4,200. So, dahil tayo ay magbabayad sa ating utang, magbabawasan naman tayo ng ating assets. So, i-debit lang natin sa payables account ang 4,200, then credit naman sa cash account. Transaction K, receive 15,480 as professional fees for services rendered. So, ang ating asset ay madagdagan na naman. So, i-debit lang sa cash account ang 15,480, then debit naman sa service revenue account. Transaction L, paid for minors repair to photography equipment 760 pesos. So, mababawasan ng ating asset, tayo ay maglabas ng cash. So, i-debit sa repairs expenses ang 760 pesos rather. Then, credit naman sa cash account. Transaction M, paydo, withdraw cash for personal use, 9,600. So, nagbabawasan tayo ng asset dahil siya ay nag-withdraw ng cash. I-debit natin sa paydo withdrawal. Then, credit naman sa cash account ang halagang 9,600. Next is trial balance. So, sa trial balance, dito natin malalaman kung balance ba o hindi ang T-account natin. So, unang-una, gagawa ka muna ng heading or more like a name of a company or the owner of the business. Second is the name of trial balance. Then third is yung period or the last day of the month, which is the most important. Dapat kompleto siya. Then lastly, lahat ng account titles ilalagay natin lahat dito together with the column of debit and credit, which is located on the right side. Then i-transfer na ang mga amount on each account, whether sa debit ba or sa credit siya na below. First, we have cash. So i-total muna natin ang lahat ng debit natin. Then, yung credit natin. So, yung result sa credit natin is i-subtract natin sa ating debit. So, ang balance natin is 82,920. So, yan ang ilagay natin sa debit side. Next is sa photography equipment. So, i-add lang natin yung dalawang debit natin. So, we have 122,830 pesos. So, lagay natin yan sa debit side. Followed by supplies, we have 7,960 sa debit siya. Sa private insurance, nasa debit siya, 1,240. Tapos, yung accounts payable natin, yung 72,210 ay sinubtract lang natin sa 4,200. So, we have 67,010 pesos. Followed by Pido Capital, 146,000. Okay, naka-credit side siya. Then, rent expenses, naka-debit siya. Then, service revenue, naka-credit siya. Salary expenses, debit siya. Utility expenses, which in debit also. Then repairs expenses in debit also. Lastly, the PIDO withdrawals, which is 9,600 pesos na naka-debit rin. Okay, so tapos na nating i-transfer. Now, i-total na lang natin yung lahat ng debit natin. So, we have a total of 237,450 sa ating debit. Then, sa credit naman natin is, we also have 237,450. So, it means yung trial balance natin is balance lang siya.